Game audio seemed pretty fucking low. Oh shit, everyone's here. Hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
But the object you've been looking for has already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can just keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're not sympathetic than I thought.
Did I read that correctly? I don't know. Yo, we're actually doing court? We're actually doing court?
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. I'm not gonna fucking voice act that laugh.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we're more than solved this case already, don't you? We'll see, it all depends on whatever not your logic holds. Oh, I see you even have a viewer in the gallery, and why even Mr. Band is here? A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in a hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It would be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
How absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is.
We all know it's you, right? We're actually doing an argument on court. Let's do this. This is the closest thing we'll ever get to an actual court battle, like on the first 3 games. Yeah. I mean, if they did the same thing, except we plays a prosecutor, I guess it would be interesting. But I think they took a more interesting path where you actually investigate the crime scene. Because I straight up feel like fucking Batman when I investigate murder scenes, like the murder cases on the Arkham games, like the detective shit. You have to investigate. Anyway, let's try to prove you as the killer. Everyone says the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there's no need to confront my logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing up my trump cards she has for her sleeve.
So there is no contradiction there, because there is no possible escape. So that means we're just gonna need to press her in every fucking testimony. Alright. What's his alibi? Come on, say it.
The suspect, when I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate when he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Furthermore, the heirs of the crime scene was all been thoroughly investigated, right? Hold it. God, I love Edgeworth's old trip, bro. I don't know how they made him look younger. I mean, they made the hair slightly shorter. It's the only thing I can see. But for some reason, he looks so much younger, with minimal changes in his face. Whenever they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and the lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been executive, the crime scene in lobby number 2 has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in, because he claimed to be there, and that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window into the that was dumb. There are bars, Edgeworth. Didn't you do your research? That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They look into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Okay. No possible escape. Are you absolutely positive that there is no possible route of escape? Of course I am sure. Why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the crime place where criminals are brought to justice. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just a common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ugh. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion. Detective Gumshoe is the killer. You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed that gun on Mr. Faraday's hand? You're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write it with, huh? Right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Pathetic fool. None of us will let me get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. Suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump cards ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses for you. There is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francesca bothered to show up that day was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor. By the way, Mr. You. What about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you think me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bat and I arrived at the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bat heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe was the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap. Sadly, our explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how it could have been fabricated? That tape. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rel, the prosecution presented at today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that was its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard from the gunshot is in the video. Huh, but I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than anyone heard the gunshot. When everyone heard the gunshot. Yeah, she's definitely the killer, bro. No doubt about it. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulated is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Of course, we know about the soundproof quality of the courthouse rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms were soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard a gunshot clear as day. And? And? That's it. End of story. But it's not. God, I love how smug Edgeworth is. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a single room? The window was open. There was, actually, one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also open. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the same time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Where was the window open in lobby number 1? Answer is that a certain person did something that caused the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer is this double murder is... Von Karma! My mentor is the real killer. No, fuck that. Miss you, you're the real killer. Miss Callisto, you... I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. Oh shit, I was calling. Right, I'm back. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Miss Faraday and Mr. Rel. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right?
Oh shit, you're gonna rebuttal me?
You argue that the window was opened, however. Do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people for murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as yours.
This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now, is the time to put the patent von Karma perfect proof to the test. Alright. They do have proof. Oh shit, we don't. I think this pen's gonna... Right, I don't want to risk it just yet, so...
Evidence. All I need to do is have some prints and analyze, and almost straight away. Be my guess.
It sounds as though she has the room to maneuver, which means, even if we were able to lift prints, they'd only show that it was someone else. But why that someone else was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose.
What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows lines on your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Oh, well in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright?
Right, so Edgeworth is saying that I should present the evidence, so I'm guessing we should. Perfume. There you go.
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, monsieur? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know.
This isn't mine.
That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see.
Monsieur, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you.
Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume?
Well, you were in lobby number 1. You made a big show of spilling some sort of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Let me guess, she's gonna blame Bad for this shit later on.
Oh, I know.
You also know that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. The most important fact about this case is when people were made to hit a gunshot. Furthermore, it wouldn't have been pointless if you hadn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean? Monsieur, you were the one who called Detective Bad to lobby number 1. When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway, is that correct? All of the day's permitted events could only have been thought up by you, Miss You. Gah! Gosh, she's not doing the laughing shit.
You accuse me of murder and the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I could have killed Mr. Faraday. Could you care to testify to why? Look, we're having a lot of fun today, really. But I grow wary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony, and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Oh, hell yeah. End this. I hate seeing your stupid lying face, you fucking defense attorney. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of the disciple of karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if it's lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her. Let me see. Yeah, it can turn to the key, right? I think I only explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did smell some perfume, but that's all. But you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like, but as for me, I believe. You believe? I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. You enthusiastic. Of course I shouldn't have guessed. She's accusing me of forgery. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Oh, why did you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall we continue? Shall I continue? Alright. And why exactly could you not have killed him? I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth. Your preference have no bearing on what is at hand. Being a little uncomfortable, are we? Miss you will desist in your tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry. Miss you, please continue with your testimony. Sure. So I was saying I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, but Miss Yu, maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday has yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with your lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key to the that the Yatagarasu had sent. And unless a key had magically turned into a knife, then you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was only misunderstanding on my part, in any case. I wonder if you might amend what you just said to your testimony.
Alright. God, I'm so close to fucking cracking her. Well, not that close. We're almost there to proving she's guilty. I gotta eat, though. Well, we're back.
Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone simply with a key. With a simple key. Monsieur, I would just like you to confirm something with you one more time. Oh, about what's going to happen with Detective Gumshoe after this? I don't need to ask you about that because he is on the camera. Looks like the number of wrinkles on your forehead has increased yet again. That issue aside, Monsieur, I'd like to ask you about what was inside the bag. You are sure it was the Yatagarasu key, correct? Yes, I'm sure, which is why I'm completely baffled as to where the knife could have came from. I think I've just spotted the road to a perfect victory. Finally, it would appear that you have revealed your true identity, Monsieur. Miles, her final statement. Yes, I know. All I have to do now is to present the evidence. But what is this ominous feeling that I can't shake? But the key was the knife. Monsieur, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. There's a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, what may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and a murderous knife. You know that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would even now still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. Well, we can't have you accusing me of a crime of false evidence, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Ah, are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now, take a good look at this piece of evidence. It's more than real. Well, You know, there was such a trick to this thing. Are you satisfied now? But of course, you know from the very beginning, didn't you? You know that the knife and the Yatagarazu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of the law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagarazu sent to the police. How do you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me that the key turned into a knife at the time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What are you saying is simply not possible, because even Faraday didn't know. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. But within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written anything of his in his organizer, you know. Want something of his importance to be left to oral communication. Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife's aspect either. Tch! What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such important information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real knife, or the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money there your mouth in hell? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth, the secret behind the Satagarazu's key. The only person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarazu's key could change into a knife? Well, the fucking Yatagarasu. There was only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is? And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Monsieur, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this? The fuck? Would have thought that you... Oh shit, this is her breakdown. His straight up laugh. A stupid rookie prosecutor would see through me. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I seek into some place. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto, you. Oh, shit. Callisto, you. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. I don't believe it. Nah. I mean, I accused her, but I don't actually believe she's a thief. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. Well, you see, he had discovered my true identity. which is why I had to erase him from the world of the law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them, and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and a 40, just as what all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue in the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despised criminals? But I do. But do I really? God, I'm reading so bad right now. You. Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would? So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday for the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion, which a weapon as well disguised as this. No one would be the wiser, because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 in the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday, and in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key just like that. He never noticed that I had changed that key into a knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't... Oh god. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, and I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you kill Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Will as well. I believe I mentioned why then we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him with all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney. Aren't you? How could you betray a client? Client? You want to talk about who was a client of whose first? It wasn't me. I was the client in the murder of Colombian embassy staff member died man. You ordered a hit job. You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had died man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this? You don't mean you're working with Manny Kochin too, do you? Huh. Maybe, maybe not. Guess I'll never know. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. I don't believe this. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgments of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. What the fuck? She straight up just pulled a gun! Yo! You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. Ugh! You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such great avid advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! Ugh! Ugh! My body. I can't move. Hey, mister! To your right! Oh shit. Was I straight up shot? Are you alright, Francesca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did the K go? That's a gunshot! Holy shit. Yo, I did not expect her to straight up pull a fucking gun, bro. Holy shit. She just straight up pulled a gun on us. Yo, that'd be the craziest shit about this game so far. I did not expect that. She got away, didn't she? Sorry, but it looks like she got away. Oh shit. You got away? Nah, there's still a lot of holes in this case. I guess I'll finish this up. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad. Are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. More importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? But straight reminded me of Batman. I don't know, she just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir! I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. Okay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you might just have what it takes to be a real detective. Hey. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? We just single-handedly destroyed a cheery atmosphere with one snarkly comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. Not judge. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, it was no problem, really. Haha, I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me to prove their friendship? I guess it was a Swiss roll. It's a quarter special Swiss roll. Can, can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. A Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. Although one case saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop, that was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. Gotta thank you if I've gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? I only noticed just now. Was this mine not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, so betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first. You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This is how Gumshoe became a straight-up good fucking Edgeworth simp. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll be counting on you. The son of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disgusting end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. He is fun to be around, though. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Okay, it's been a while. Hey, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness, I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After all my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They live really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, so that was what happened. Well, I'm just glad you're alright.
Yosa!
Bakit?
So,
does it all make sense now?
Gusto mo na
You
kape.
betcha it does.
Di ka
Oh,
bumibili.
you know what?
I was going through my father's
watch
bookshelf
this
recently
little-
and
What's this Backleby moment?
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense,
Please
Kay.
hawakan na sa pila. Kain na
Ito
isang
lang.
First of all,
kape.
why
Copy
did you
Jess.
come all this way to see
Copy
me?
Jess, tsaka-
And second,
Wala, maliban sa
why are
copy.
you calling yourself the Yellow Grosso?
No?
The Yellow Grosso is close to
Yan,
you,
mga kapits
the
lang.
one that killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Aba, na.
So he was legit the Yellow Grosso.
Di ka ba nagsilig?
So Rel was right. Okay.
For us to do this.
Mr. Faraday was the Yellow Grosso?
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books.
Stone.
I have no regret in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
Paano? Ito ang kabata.
Ugh! But that's impossible.
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I recently said it was impossible just now.
All right then. How do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
That's the little thing. Truth be told, this is the Yatagras's greatest secret. And this is little gizmo here. It was used by my father.
Ano yan, may?
Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was a really great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagras was no more. But despite that, the Yatagras have been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you.
Here, Mr. Edgeworth, take a look at this article.
Yatagra sends come to embassy. Report received by the embassy. The Yatagra sent the embassy a calling card.
Meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callista you ladies behind this. Because the real Yatagrasu would never send something out and brought a card out.
But the Yatagra also did send a white card along with everything to be publicized. That's what that Dr. Bond told me 7 years ago,
Pinanood
if
ko lang.
memory
Ang
serves.
bit lang view.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out. So that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it'd be Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father and misuse identities backwards?
Yes, Mr. Real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. I want to find the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Ano sabi?
Okay. You're so vulnerable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Allows me here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complete. Mr. Edgeworth! Ugh, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is to arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman. You mean close to you.
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, would you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean?
Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands at a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you.
Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay?
Yeah, I'm sure it is, Gummy.
Even though we had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with that chummy relationship? Oh my god. The great thief Yatagarasu.
After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Grand Faraday,
no.
Callisto Youth, and Thief Faraday. The phantasmagorical changing identity of the Grand Thief Yatagarasu, and the Yatagarasu's goal. It would all come to light the day after I
Isa lang
that promised
estudyante.
the king.
Isa lang.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is pretty fun.